Hi, welcome to this Blender video tutorial entitled Subdivide. The Subdivide tool is an edit mode tool that divides in half the selected subcomponents. To demonstrate the Subdivide tool, I have placed in my Blender scene a plane mesh object. In reality, the Subdivide tool is an edge tool, as it actually subdivides edges. This is done either explicitly by selecting the edges, or implicitly by selecting the vertices that influence the edge, or a face whose edges are influenced. I'll select the plane mesh and tab into edit mode, and deselect the vertices. I'll also go to wireframe display mode. I'll select these top two vertices, which define the top edge. I will then click on the Subdivide button, which is located in the 3D Editor Viewport Tools panel. Note that the edge is subdivided and that new edges are created to justify the breakup of the existing face. I will undo the subdivide. I will add to this selection the bottom two vertices, completing the implicit selection of the four edges and thus the face. I will press the Subdivide button. Note that each edge is subdivided and new edges are created to justify the breakup of the existing face. In effect, the single face has been subdivided into four faces. I'll undo the subdivision. With the four vertices selected, and thus the face implicitly selected, I'll press the X key and delete the face only. I will deselect the vertices and reselect only the top two vertices. I'll then press the Subdivide button. Notice that since there is no face to justify, the edge is simply divided in half, resulting in a vertex placed at the midpoint of the edge. I will undo this subdivision. I will now add the bottom two vertices to the selection, and I'll press the Subdivide button. Note that each implicitly selected edge is divided in half. Since there is no face to justify the division, a vertex is placed at the midpoint of each edge. I will undo the subdivision, deselect the vertices, and then press Ctrl-Tab and select Edge Select Mode. I will select the four edges and press the F key to recreate the plane's face. I will now select the top and bottom edge and press the Subdivide button. Note that the two edges are divided in half and that there is a new edge from the midpoint of the top edge to the midpoint of the bottom edge. There is also, though in Edge Select mode we cannot see them, two new vertices as well, one at the midpoint of each edge. I'll press Ctrl-Tab and select Vertex Select, and then deselect the vertices. We can now see the two new vertices. I'll press Ctrl-Tab and select Face Select mode. There are two faces on the plane object. I'll select the right face and then subdivide it. Since there are four edges, the face is divided in half both ways, forming four faces. Since one of the edges shares an adjoining face, the subdivided edge created two new edges to justify the face division. I'll select the large triangular face, which is defined by three edges. I'll then subdivide it. Each of the three edges was divided in half, creating four triangular faces inside the selection. Since two of these edges shares an adjoining face, each created a new edge to justify the division of the face. Many times Subdivide is used to create faces in a desired location so that they can be extruded into more complex shapes. I'll select these two triangular faces. I'll then press Alt-J. This converts two triangular faces into one quad face. I'll then deselect the faces and select the new joined face. I'll then press the E key, extrude, and extrude it up along the Y-axis.